Kelly Krauskopf, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. If you were perfectly fine when Fever fans were bending over, kissing your ass, applauding your decisions, you better stand here and take it when Fever fans are pissed off, upset, and are voicing their displeasures. If our voice mattered that much then, you best believe it matters that much now.
The president of the Indiana Fever recently made comments about Caitlin Clark that sparked widespread discussion across the basketball world. I have to say, when an organization tries to minimize the value of its core star, it changes everything. Franchise players matter. The backlash was immediate and intense. In a way, karma has a funny way of reminding everyone who the true leader is. The consequences of this misstep are almost unbelievable. It raises an important question: what really happens when organizations attempt to diminish or undervalue their biggest stars?
Fever brand is going to get as big and go as far as Caitlin Clark takes it. And I don't think Kelly Krauskopf understands that. And the latest video that is surfacing, floating around, being consumed by Fever fans across the globe, because this is an international superstar they have on their hands. This may have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
Reactions from players and staff suggested that some people believe this situation could unfold within the Indiana Fever organization. Recording and sharing a conversation about their vision for brand development was presented as a smart move, one supposedly meant to emphasize that the team is bigger than just Caitlin Clark. After all, nothing says strong business strategy quite like publicly diminishing the very player who single-handedly rescued the franchise from irrelevance, right? In their remarks, Fever leadership, using the term loosely, spoke about their desire to build a sustainable, long-term brand. Drawing comparisons to companies like Apple, they framed Caitlin Clark's role as part of a broader effort to avoid depending too heavily on any one star, insisting the focus should be on the collective. In corporate terms, this is often how organizations talk about minimizing the importance of foundational players.
That we want to sustain the growth and the interest level in the franchise. I mean, this is about the Indiana Fever. Yes, we have a foundational player in Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, and we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country, and a brand, an enduring brand, like Apple or something. I mean, we have a real opportunity here.
Let me break down just how out of touch these comments were. The executive essentially told fans, who immediately erupted on social media, that the organization wants to maintain growth and excitement, while simultaneously suggesting that Caitlin Clark, the very person driving that growth and attention, shouldn't be treated as the centerpiece. It's like McDonald's claiming it wants to be known for more than burgers while deliberately hiding the Big Mac. Fans reacted exactly as you'd expect when their intelligence is insulted. Social media lit up with criticism, calling out the organization for being completely disconnected from reality. Frankly, the backlash was well-earned and unavoidable.
This isn't the NFL. This is the WNBA. A star is going to take the Fever where the Fever want to go. And that star is Caitlin Clark. Kelly, you're talking about being a leading brand. You're talking about sustaining growth, sustaining the interest level in the franchise. You know how that happens? Is if Caitlin Clark stays in Indiana, is if Caitlin Clark is participating in an entertaining and exciting brand of basketball that doesn't take away and diminish her skill sets, that doesn't turn off fans that have been following her for the last 3 to 5 years.
These so-called savvy business minds seem to have forgotten a key reality. Before Caitlin Clark arrived, the Fever were drawing maybe 4,000 fans on a good night. Television ratings were so low that hardly anyone was paying attention, and the team barely registered in broader sports conversations. Then Clark showed up, and suddenly arenas began selling out, attendance records were shattered, and the team became a national talking point. That kind of impact actually matters. Yet, in their supposed wisdom, leadership appears to believe this surge happened because of their organizational brilliance. It didn't. They were handed a generational talent, someone people genuinely want to watch play basketball. The Apple comparison is especially laughable. Apple transformed industries by centering its brand around groundbreaking products. It never tried to minimize the importance of the iPhone or pretend the iPad didn't matter. Instead, it built everything around those innovations and fully embraced them. That's exactly the approach the Fever should be taking. History shows that the most successful and profitable franchises are built around their stars. You don't try to minimize Michael Jordan's impact. You design the entire operation to maximize it. You don't pretend the Lakers would have been just as iconic without Magic Johnson. Showtime didn't happen by accident, and the Bulls didn't become a global phenomenon by coincidence. These moments occurred because smart organizations recognized they had extraordinary talent and built their entire identity around showcasing it. Yet instead of acknowledging that they've essentially already hit the jackpot, it seems the Fever either ignored or misunderstood that reality. They won the lottery with Caitlin Clark. Rather than fully embracing it, leadership appears more focused on spreading attention evenly and making sure everyone feels included. Winning championships seems to be less of a priority than avoiding bruised egos. The timing of these comments only makes them look more absurd, especially given everything that had just unfolded in public view. Caitlin Clark has faced real challenges within a system that doesn't fully use her strengths. We've watched her struggle to get touches, deal with teammates who hesitate to pass, and operate in an offense that often seems designed to limit her impact. So, what does the organization do with its superstar? At a time when fans are already frustrated with management, leadership pours gasoline on the fire by making public comments that appear to confirm everyone's worst suspicions about their priorities. The backlash was immediate and severe. Supporters began questioning the organization's true value to Clark, and once her contract situation became a topic of discussion, people openly speculated about how much better she might be elsewhere. That's the exact opposite outcome you want when trying to build a lasting brand. And here's the harsh reality. Fans are justified in their concerns. If the organization doesn't clearly demonstrate a commitment to winning, Caitlin Clark won't stay forever. She's far too talented and driven to waste her prime years waiting on an organization that fails to value its most important asset. The contrast with other major markets is especially telling. If Caitlin Clark were dealing with this level of organizational dysfunction in a city like Boston or New York, sports radio would be relentless. Management would be under constant scrutiny, and there would be non-stop calls for change. Instead, it seems the organization believes it can get away with this backward thinking because of its location in Indianapolis, assuming there won't be the same level of attention or accountability. That assumption may prove to be a costly mistake. The real irony is that by trying not to rely too heavily on Caitlin Clark, the organization is actually increasing the risk of losing her. When you fail to fully value your greatest asset, you create space for others who will. Plenty of franchises would gladly build their entire identity around Clark rather than attempt to control or minimize her impact. Instead of appearing well-managed, the Fever's comments triggered exactly the backlash they were trying to avoid, making leadership seem disconnected from reality. History shows that organizations that believe success can exist without the star who created it learn a costly lesson. This moment is bigger than one comment. It's a defining crossroads. Fans are engaged, watching closely, and what the franchise does next will shape its identity, credibility, and future for years to come.